We're live. Coming in 5.
What is up, everybody?
Hi.
Try to pull it up now. Come on in. We are taking your questions. You just tell me my name. It was at the top. Come on in. Hashtag BMC, let us know you with us. Hashtag BMC, let us know you with us. Let me see. Hashtag BMC.
Can you hear us? I know we're in different location again today, so let us know you can hear us. If you can't, put a thumbs down. If you can, put a thumbs up or hashtag BMC in the place to be. Well, just hashtag BMC. Hello, Lawrence. How are you?
All right, give us 1 second. We trying. Here we go. All right, so let me do this.
Hello, Lawrence. How are you?
Trying to get this straight.
Sorry, we should have had this together, sir. Why your picture pop up?
Yeah, no.
That was weird.
All right.
All right,
We are good. We are good. What's up, everybody? All right. So today we're doing something a little bit different, okay? We decided to take your marriage questions. But before we get started, my name is Artis.
I'm Zedoria.
And we are the Andersons.
Oh,
We're getting better with it.
yes.
We are the owners and founders of Forever Love. The website is pinned in the comments, so tryforeverlove.com. Check us out. We are a relationship consulting and education company, and we are also the chapter president for the Las Vegas BMC chapter, and we're also the COOs of the Black Marriage Club, and we're excited to be in partnership with Black Marriage Club.
Yes.
We're excited. Shout out to Demola Shobawale, Nay Shobawale, who are the founders. We appreciate all that they do. We appreciate the support and the partnership. We appreciate their trust and all that they've done. So make sure y'all are supporting Black Marriage Club in every aspect, on every front. Also, before we get to your questions, August the 7th, if you do not know, we are having our ATL meet and greet, okay? Go to the Eventbrite for Black Marriage Club. You can find that in the announcements. DMV, August 29th is coming up. Both events are sold out, but I still want to let you know that it is happening.
Sold out.
Yeah. So, also, July 28th, this Wednesday, in the announcements, if you want to be a city ambassador and host a local event, click that link. It's in the announcements. Click the link to become an ambassador. Okay. Join the Zoom call July 28th, this Wednesday coming up. All right. Cool. We don't have much time. We can't be before you long today. We're out of town and we're traveling, but we find a way to get to you.
Right.
All right.
All right.
What are your marriage questions? Let's hear them.
Just shoot your shot. Coming in hot.
As the marriage questions are coming in, I want to talk about this post I put up, right?
Okay, let's talk
I
about
put up a post that talked about marriage tips, one-on-one, right? And actually, no, let me talk about another post. I put up a post where I said, it's easy to point the finger and blame and criticize your spouse instead of looking in the mirror. Don't take the easy road. And I think that post was very powerful because A lot of times in marriage, we love to point the finger.
Yeah.
We love to look at the other person and what they're not doing. We love to look at the other person and look at them as the issue or the problem. But that's not always the case. The other person is not always the issue.
Yeah.
And to be frank, to be honest, the other person is rarely the issue.
Yeah.
A lot of times with marriage, successful marriages are about two people. And your marriage can only be as strong as the two people in it. So the question becomes, how strong are you and how strong is your spouse? How faithful are you and how faithful is your spouse? How honest are you and how honest is your spouse? It's always about two people, okay? It's always about two people. But those two people make up the entire marriage. So it can't just always be about pointing the finger and blaming and things of that nature. It's about you and the other person.
Yeah.
What can you improve on? What can you do? What does it take to have a successful marriage in your home? That's the real question.
Right.
Now I'm waiting on these questions to come in.
But if y'all want us to go there, I mean,
We had a whole lot of questions on the post
right
about the topic tonight being a marriage Q&A. So y'all don't have no marriage questions tonight? We'll give y'all a couple minutes to bring it in. Did you want to say anything? Okay.
I don't have anything to say today. I'm a little tired, y'all, today. I apologize, but I'm here. I made it.
We have been traveling.
Yes.
But it's all good,
Yes.
you know.
No. What you just gonna say?
Nothing, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I wasn't gonna say anything.
You know you paused like you was about to say.
I know. It felt like it. That's why.
So you have nothing to say?
Nothing. Nothing to say.
You always
Nothing
know
to
how
say.
your spouse don't have nothing to say until you got something to say? You ever notice that in y'all's household? Your spouse ain't never. Some of y'all like, I wish my spouse talk too much.
But yeah, so I guess I would think, why is it so difficult for you men
Okay.
to not listen? When your wife is speaking.
You want the honest answer?
Yeah, I want the honest answer.
Do I want to put the men out there like this?
Yeah.
What did Martin say? Keep the lie alive! Keep the lie alive! Women have to understand that men are not particularly interested in the same things you are. The second part of that is we're not as invested detail-wise as you all are.
Okay, makes sense.
So when you're talking about different things, or, you know, you are venting about certain things, it's like, we really don't really care. We just really don't. And so it's not that we don't love y'all
Okay.
or care about y'all, because that's how it's perceived.
Right.
It's just we don't care about that.
Got it.
That's all.
So just in general, as a man, it's like a man-female thing. That's just one thing that you guys are.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Just
We got a
curious.
question.
Question.
All right.
I thought I was doing the questions. How you just take the phone from me? Thank you. He gave me a task and he took it from me. Okay. All right. So
Traveling.
Gloria asked, so my spouse needs constant affirmations and he says he needs it consistently. However, how do you give it when he curses you out?
Now, it went from a very detailed question to a vague question. let's start with the end of the question. How do you do that when he's cursing you out? Why is he cursing you out? When is he cursing you out? Where is he cursing you out at? Is he cursing you out because he's not getting the affirmations? Is he cursing you out because you're doing something that you know makes him mad? Is he cursing you out for no reason? So these are a lot of questions. I don't know the answer to those. But the first part of the question.
Are you thinking when you're looking up?
Yes.
Okay. He's thinking while he's looking up, so he's like.
Yeah. So, because it's a lot of answers running through my head, I want to make sure I give the most potent one.
Yes.
The reality is this. People needing affirmations, that's okay. Mm-hmm. When it is excessive, that becomes a problem. Because now you become dependent on a thing to survive. Yeah. You shouldn't be living off affirmations. Mm-hmm. They should just be encouragement markers in your relationship. Yeah. They should be enhancements. Mm-hmm. For example, affirmations are like vitamins. Mm-hmm. They don't replace your meals. Yeah. Your vitamins give you what your meals didn't give you. Yeah. Because your meals are still giving you nutrients and vitamins so that your body can successfully function. Mm-hmm. But if I only take vitamins, my body is still going to lack proper nutrients.
And also, you think about, sorry to cut you off, but it made me think of like affirmations as what are you doing to affirm yourself? Because if you're depending on just that one thing, that thing can run out. So what are you going to do with it next? What's the next thing you're going to use? Like, where are you going to go for when those affirmations run out? Like,
yes. When they run out, now the person is dependent on them. Now you're stuck and you got to keep giving it. Well, what happens if you can't give enough affirmations in the amount of time that you're being asked for them? Mm-hmm. So that person is going to have to develop some type of self-sufficiency in their own security, in their own identity, in their own self-worth. Mm-hmm. They cannot live off your affirmations. Yeah. That's number one.
Mm-hmm. She was answering because he gets defensive when we try to have conversations and about issues.
Yeah. If a person gets defensive, there's a few things that might be happening. If a person is defensive, number one, they might have been accused a lot when they were younger. Yeah. And they developed this callous. And what happens is once they develop this callous towards people and questions, anything that feels like an attack, they go on the defense mode to protect themselves. Yeah. To protect themselves. Right. So what happens is if you have somebody that is defensive, what they're doing, is making sure that you can't harm them with your questions. Yeah. Because your questions may come off as an attack. You have to be able to let the guard down. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to know how to allow your spouse to know this is not an attack. This is a genuine question, and I have a genuine concern in my life, your life, our life, and I really want to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So that's how you deal with it. So make sure that if he's being defensive, you have to figure out why he's defensive. You almost have to spend some time getting to know what you don't know about him. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people take defensiveness personally, rightfully so, because you're like, well, you're my spouse. Boom, boom, boom.
Hey, Natalie.
Hey, Natalie. So, being defensive.
And hi to Angel, too.
Hello, everybody. Getting defensive is a mechanism for protection. That's all it is. Or it's a defense mechanism because they're lying. Or they're a liar. Okay, so that becomes a different subject matter. Okay, so when you're talking about mental issues, you have to lead with that information, right? Yeah. So sometimes the defensiveness is coming from some sort of trauma, some sort of traumatic situation that he has experienced, right? Which has led to anxiety and things of that nature. So remember, You're trying to ask him questions, and he's just trying to get through life.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking him questions about things that are important to you, but he's just trying to make it to the next day. So, so not to sound mean or dismissive, but when somebody is dealing with these things, they have to become the priority. And you cannot always take personal what they do because they're struggling mentally. I am not making excuses for people with mental illnesses or mental issues or these types of situations. But what I am saying is you have to realize that there's something going on that to a degree they can't control.
Yeah.
Chemically.
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully that helps Gloria. But remember, marriage, all right. You can never forget. Marriage is about y'all. Y'all. It's about we, us, them. See, we forget those words exist in marriage.
Them? It's not about them.
No, but what I'm saying is them would be the people who it's about. Like us, we, them, they. It's a plural term.
Them, they is over
it's a
there.
plural
over
term.
There. Over there.
It's a plural term. What's up, Emily? It's a plural term. Okay. What I mean by that is, okay, what I mean by that is we forget that it's about us. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things we do is to get our stuff satisfied. Shoot, Emily, please.
Yeah, go ahead and type
Shoot your questions. Type y'all questions.
Yeah,
y'all don't have to wait. Just type your questions.
Coming in, I have my phone. I'm watching the questions, so we'll scroll up and see it. So go ahead, shoot your shot, girl. Shoot your
type
shot.
y'all questions.
What?
You got it. Oh, okay. You got to read it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to read it to me so I can.
You was pointing at it like you was reading it.
Yeah, I was pointing saying you ain't doing your job.
But see, we talked about this last week. Communication. Use your lips.
Read it.
Use your words.
But I use my finger. That
exactly.
ain't good enough?
You using your finger meaning that you were following the words, like in school. Yes, like in school they teach you to follow.
I dropped the ball on communication just now, y'all.
Yes, follow.
I pointed to it and I didn't communicate what I was meaning. So she thought I was just like reading it for myself.
Yes, it did.
I dropped the ball on the communication.
Okay, so
can you read that for me?
Which one?
This one. That starts with but. And it ends with medication. Prescribed.
Actually, but he doesn't take his medication, but he is prescribed.
Yes, if he's not taking the medication, there's a reason for that.
Hey, Erna.
Hey, Erna. Please stick by his side, support him through it. Yes. I know it's difficult. You need to get a community around him.
Yes.
Okay, you need to get a community around him. People that can help, people that he can talk to. Yeah. I don't know if he's military or not, but there's communities and things that he can, resources he can access. Okay?
And maybe ask the questions too, like why he doesn't want to take it, because, sometimes when you take certain medications and make you feel a certain way, he may not like it. Like it may be, he may not feel like himself when he takes it. So especially when you're putting something foreign in your body that your body's like, okay, what is this? So, try to get to that ground of figuring out why the main reason why it's like that, because sometimes they're like, I don't want to take it because I just don't want to take it.
Yeah.
Or he wants to be maybe tough for you, and being able to say that he got this or he can handle it.
Or he may feel like he don't want to take it because it's an admission that something is wrong.
Right. Yeah.
It's a lot of different reasons. Y'all have to talk the best you can.
Right.
Yeah.
And those that, I guess, I don't know if he's getting counseling or anything like that. Like, I definitely would, just see what other resources or other outlets that he's utilizing in order for that to happen. So, definitely.
All right. Next question.
You keep taking my job, sir.
No, you going to answer this one.
I'm going to answer it.
Yeah. And then I'll jump in. Next question. My husband will never talk to his kids' mom in front of me. Why do you feel he does that?
He will never talk to his kid's mom in front of you. I mean, on a woman's perspective, automatically I think something is going on. But but there could be a
key word from a woman's perspective.
Yes, from a woman's perspective, but it could be a respect issue for whatever situation that they may have had in the past. Remember, they knew each other beforehand. They may have had a communication that he may not have spoke to you about, that he is trying to make sure that it's not, there's no fire or clashing, friction in between you two. So the mother of the child may feel like, can we just have our time for our conversations for this? She may feel more comfortable just having a conversation with just him and her. So
yeah. Now I will be the first to say, I don't think that is the right way to deal with it. I think your wife comes first.
Of course.
And I think that this doesn't mean the mother of your child is not important. Mm-hmm. It just means that it's important to realize you got to go home.
Yes. That's
and it's important to realize that this is the one you're with forever.
Yeah.
And so it's a rock and a hard place. Mm-hmm. Trust me, I know. But here's my opinion in it. Why do I feel he does this? I don't know. I can't answer that. My wife can't either, right? She gave her perspective. I'm going to give mine. There's so much that could have happened that we don't know.
Yeah.
Right? What if...
And this is, number one, communication about how you guys have presented being in that relationship. Because you coming into being the stepmom to a child, like, what did that look like? Mm-hmm. What would those are the questions that should have been brought up. Like, what does that look like for you? What is your role? What does that look like? So,
and in previous people that I've counseled in that situation, what happens is there's a bad relationship between the baby mama and the wife.
Yeah.
There's an explosion issue between the baby mother and the wife.
Yeah.
There's tension. There's problems. There's too many issues, right? Or the father of the child has to deal with trying to find a balance. And so maybe he's trying to just stay away from all of that.
Yeah, true.
So it's hard to answer that question directly because we just don't know.
Yeah, the situation.
But I would say it could either be because either he's hiding something, one, don't jump to that conclusion.
Yes.
That's just a possibility.
Yes.
Or two, he's really trying to find a balance because the mother doesn't want to, because the wife doesn't like the mother. It could be anything in regards to them two coming together. Right. It's just gasoline and fire.
Right.
Yeah. So I would say that. Yeah. Oh, he knows you really don't care to speak to her, hear her voice. Well, there you go.
Well, that answers the question.
That's why.
Yeah. So he's being respectful for you.
He's trying to look.
Yeah. He's looking out for you.
Let me tell you something about me.
Yes, and I was about to say that. Right. I was like, because we as wives have to really be careful about what we say.
Hallelujah.
But honestly,
I did that out loud.
You know what?
Oh.
But we out of emotion, we may say, "Oh, I can't. Don't look at me when I'm getting undressed." But that could have been just that day. You don't want them to look at you. And then when they don't look at you when you get undressed, you start asking questions like, why you ain't looking at me when I'm getting undressed? You don't like how I feel? And then you start going into a whole nother yada yada when they're like, as men, they're like, I'm just doing what you told me to do.
You told me not to look at you.
You told me not to look at you, so I'm going to do it.
And now you're mad because I'm not looking at you.
Right. So I can understand that dynamic of why him as a man would honor his wife, honor the things that he's asking. That's a good thing that he's actually listening, because he could just be like, no, he can force you like, no, you need to learn how to listen and do this and yada yada, but he's being respectful of the marriage, of your concerns or your acknowledgments. So yeah.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you,
appreciate
Emily.
you.
Really appreciate it.
Tiffany Richardson, are you still on? We're about to answer your question. How can I fall back and be submissive when my husband doesn't know how to lead?
Oh, Jesus!
All right, Emily.
That's a deep one.
Brace yourself, because we about to go into this one.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Tiffany, I hope you're still on, because we about to answer that.
Yeah.
The question is, how can I fall back and be submissive when my husband doesn't know how to lead? You want to take that one first?
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
going to say my piece, and I know he's going to, yeah.
Oh, you going to get this
him,
work.
men and leading, that's key. Point blank.
You going to get that work.
But.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Tiff. What's happening, Tiff? Yeah, buddy.
I would say, still do it. No matter what.
To do what?
Be submissive.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to still be that submissive woman because you don't want to overstep as a woman. Definitely. Now, the other parts of him not wanting to lead, or what she said, not wanting to lead, or just not knowing how to lead.
Doesn't know how to lead.
Knowing how to lead. I will leave that one to you.
Okay. Want me to go now?
Yes, you can go.
All right. And if our internet is messing up, let us know. Okay. But let's get into it. The question is, how can I fall back and be submissive when my husband doesn't know how to lead? Number one, let's just assume he doesn't know how to lead. You can't necessarily fall back. Mm-hmm. What you have to do is be able to be submissive and be his help.
Yeah.
Okay? You have to be submissive and know how to help him. Okay? Because remember, the wife, in my opinion, the way I view marriage, she is the help. She is the beauty in being the help is that women can do it all. That's why it's a powerful thing to be able to be a help to your husband and the marriage, okay? That's not a derogatory term. That's the first thing. So you have to learn how to be submissive and help him lead. Now, of course, this is determining, whether or not, he is admitting he doesn't know how to lead, right? But let me say this. Now we're about to get into it. I just wanted to preference it. I hope y'all are ready. Number one, what is your definition of leading? What is your definition of leading?
Yeah, what does that look
like?
The
problem is sometimes we have a definition of leadership that may be leadership to you, but it's not the totality of what leadership is. I can give you a prime example from a lot of men that I've talked to. When leadership is happening, it doesn't have to look the same. There are many forms of leadership. For example, the man doesn't have to make the last decision to be the leader. The man doesn't have to make the most money to lead. The man doesn't have to talk the most to lead. The man doesn't have to navigate a situation to be the lead. For example, a man can lead in ways that you don't like, and you would dismiss that as leadership. A man can be a leader in many areas of your marriage, but because you don't agree with it, you will diminish it as it's not leadership. Yeah. And you will look at it as just a disagreement. No, but his leadership is trying to tell you, no, we need to do this, but your disagreement is making it equal. Leaders have to lead and followers have to follow. And that's something we have to establish. Leaders lead, followers follow. There has to be a lead and there has to be a distinguished lead. Even if you got two managers, there has to be a manager with a deference. Yeah. There has to be a manager that can say, you know what, I'm the longest tenured manager. Long story short, let me give you the shortest answer. Your husband might know how to lead, but you might not know how to identify it. Okay? You might not know how to identify his leadership. Prime example, if a man is good at organizing, right? And you're organizing, and he goes and organizes the entire house. And then you come behind him and say, I don't like that right there. I don't want this right here. And you change everything. You just stopped him from leading. You just stopped him from leading in the organization of the house. Well, let's just say he's good at finances. So now what he's doing is he's organizing the finances to make sure that y'all have a good future and a savings. But then you say, I want to buy this. And he's like, no, we can't. And you're like, no, we'll buy it anyway. And he's like, no, we can't buy it right now. He's like, no, but why can't I do this? It's my money. I make the most money. He's like, because you make more money, now you are diminishing his leadership and what he's great at. Sometimes we think because men are less talkative that they're not leaders. And so now when they finally speak up and they do something or say something, you dismiss what they say. And then it's counted as not leadership. Now, it's hard to answer this question because I don't know y'all's dynamics, but I'm giving you a lot of scenarios. But if your husband doesn't know how to lead, I'm just taking your word for it.
Scenario.
If your husband does not know how to lead, your submission looks like this. Sitting down together and doing things together and getting his thoughts on it. Okay? I handle everything and he's okay with it. All right. What do you define as handling everything?
Like the bills, there's children, you take care of everything, I forgot what I was going to say, but go ahead. Yeah, so if you handle everything, now we have to define everything, and we got to remember this is your word, not his. Yeah. So it's always two sides to a story. In my line of work, that's one thing I know for a fact. There's always two sides to a story. But honestly, right, if you're doing everything and he's okay with it, somewhere along the line, you agreed to it. And you just got tired of it. So if you agreed to it and now you're tired of it, I'm changing the subject. Because this might not be about leadership. The problem you have is if you're doing everything and he's okay with it, and I'm assuming you mean he's doing everything and he's doing nothing. Because you can't do everything and he do something because there's nothing left if you do everything. So say for instance, you may be a better cleaner and you don't like the way that he cleans. And the story is you feel like you're doing everything because he fell back because he knows that you want to be the person that's cleaning all the time.
You don't like the way he cleans.
You don't like the way he cleans. And then you start cleaning and he's falling back because he's like, okay, well, you do a better job, you can do it. So is that considered your everything because you were able to take the lead in that, or because you were better than that, or what is it? Because, when we think about everything in our mind, it may be seeming like it's everything, but we also have to think about what are they doing? Because they got to be doing something. Something's got to be done.
Yeah, a lot of times, and I'm not being sexist or anything like that. I'm being honest. In my line of work as a relationship consultant and as a relationship coach, what I see all the time that I have to course correct in marriages and relationships is that a lot of women don't let their husbands lead. You don't let them do anything because you don't like the way they do it. And you see her face? See, the problem is, if you want and this goes for men and women, if you want your spouse to do something, sometimes you have to let them do it the way they do it. You have to let them be their own person.
And it can be hard.
Because what happens is...
But you gotta let them do it. Even if they can't cook that well.
Right, earn it. Or because one is not happy with the job the other's doing.
Yeah.
And if you're not happy with the job that I'm doing, and I gave my best, then you are free to take it over. You are free to take it over and do it from now on.
For instance, okay, I'm gonna use us for example. I know I hate researching. I hate it. Hate it. Okay? So I try. Really? I really try to research. But let me tell you what goes on. So me trying.
No, she's a terrible. I don't know what it's like. It's just Google.
Okay, first of all,
just search it.
Say for instance, I'm trying to find a flight. I've been looking at this flight for maybe 2 weeks. I asked him to look for a flight for something. This is just a random thing. And it takes him 2 seconds. He like, oh, I found a cheaper one. We can go here. This is this time. Da, da, da. I'm like, nigga, how did you find that? So I just gave up. I just said, you know what? I'm not going to do this to myself no more. I'm not going to keep trying, and I'm not going to keep thinking that I'm going to be the one to keep researching for 2 weeks when it takes you 2 seconds. You know what? I'm going to fall back.
Yeah. And that is so...
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So he knows if he asks me to do something, it's going to take me about 2 to 3 weeks.
And I'm going to be like, yo, what's taking so long?
Exactly. And then he'd be like, what's taking so long?
And then I'd be like, okay, you
already know.
I'm like, all right, I got it.
I got it. And then he got it.
So another example. So I can clean. I may not be great at it. Mm-hmm. Now she got like a whole nother level of cleaning in her mind.
Yes.
So when it comes to cleaning, if I clean something, she'd be like, you ain't do it right. And I'd be like, oh, I did it right. I did it right. You just don't like how I did it. And so what she'll do is go and clean it over me. And at that moment, it became her job forever.
Yes.
It became her job forever.
And I'm like, why the dishes ain't done?
Yeah.
Why? So you could do that?
I do.
What's going on?
Yeah.
He does the minimum, but I'm okay with that. But
okay, so Tiffany said he doesn't make an attempt; he just puts it on me. Now that's so here's the reality. Somewhere along the line, that has been the dynamic of your relationship, and that's what's been agreed on.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't verbally agree to it.
True.
If you didn't do anything about it, change anything about it, or you allowed it to keep happening, you agreed to it. So understand that agreements are not always verbal.
It also reminds me of like you have that friend that like really has a really strong like personality.
Real quick. Now you have to go to the table of communication and renegotiate your marriage in that aspect. There's things you want him to pick up and do, and you have to communicate that. And if you and what you have to be willing to do. I didn't freeze. I'm just doing a dramatic pause. What you have to be willing to do. What you have to be willing to do is be okay if it doesn't get done. You split everything down the middle, you be fair, and do your part. Okay? Do your part. And if he still decides not to do it, then you have to keep that communication open and figure out what the issue is.
Yeah.
Okay?
She said he doesn't even make an attempt, he just puts it on
That's
her.
what I just, yeah.
That's
on you. Yeah.
Okay.
Leave it undone.
Done. Right.
You know, these types of things are difficult, you know.
Growing up, he had what?
Yeah. So we what? Did I miss something?
Yes, I was reading this part.
Okay.
This is our first time doing this.
Yeah, we're
right
skipping
here,
through
so
skipping through some of the comments.
I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, so what am I doing here?
I mean, I can, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so that's one of those situations. If so, it's basically you became the mother and the aunt.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to get to the table of communication, and you have to talk about these things. You have to talk about them.
Yeah.
You have to talk about them.
Definitely.
Because you want to renegotiate some things in the marriage. And that's okay to do that sometimes.
Especially if it's a strain for yourself. That's definitely something, because if it's a strain for you, it's going to be a strain for the marriage. So, you know, being able to communicate that, have that conversation, saying, hey, I need to bring this to the table. We need to talk about this. I'm seeing this. I know things have changed. I know this has done, da-da-da. And just really talk about it, because, you know, that's what you need to do as spouses.
Yeah.
I thought that wasn't going to come out right. That's why I said it so slow.
Too many times, people in their marriage, they have agreed to certain things until they don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is you have to renegotiate those terms in the marriage and come to a place of communication. I call it come to the table of communication.
Right.
To talk about what you need and want.
Yeah.
You may not get what you want. We got to find a happy medium to find a compromise. Okay? All right. So listen, we're done. We got to get out of here. We love y'all. Any more questions, just leave it in the comments. We'll get to it in our own time as we are traveling in the next day or two. And so, see y'all later.
You know, Try Forever Love.
TryForeverLove.com, the number 4.
Yes.
It is pinned at the top. Also, lastly, Black Marriage Club. If you want to be an ambassador and lead a local event in your local city, go to the announcements, click the event, okay, the Eventbrite, okay, and make sure that you register and get on the Zoom call this Wednesday, July 28th, okay? Appreciate you all. Love you all. We are the Andersons. Forever Love. TryForeverLove.com.
What is this? What are we doing?
Yes. Black Marriage Club is looking to do some marriage retreats in the near future, so stay on the lookout. Yes, New York, we're coming.
You are on the map.
We're trying to come every major city and surrounding cities. So, we out. Love y'all.
Love y'all.